Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Over the past few days, I've got a little growth spurt of new subscribers. I'd like to welcome you all to the channel. Thank you very much. It's nice to see your channel grow. So anyway, we're out here at the garden this morning, and I just thought I'd just look and see right quick. I got plenty of blossoms on my butter beans. It won't be long. I gotta get out here and get all the grass out of them too, but the pods are starting or formed. Some of the beans are starting to form in them, so it won't be much longer there. I've got plenty of jalapenos. My celebrities are doing good. They're just a little slow on turning. And watch cat. So, but anyway, Sunday, my wife and I come out here and pick these 3 rows of green beans clean. I mean clean. And I don't know if you can see them well or not, but we picked them clean and they're already ready to pick again. I need to come out here and go through my squash and zucchini, pick whatever is there. I picked the day before yesterday and got a good little bit. And my okra is blossoming, and I've already got okra growing. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in there, and there's the blossom. About a week or so ago, had 2 really bad rain/wind storms come through, and it laid the corn over, and a lot of it has stood back up, but it's trying to stand back up. I'm not gonna mess with it, because if I do, I'll probably break it. But well, look right here, you can see it's where it was blown over, it's actually curving to go back up to the sun. So what I'm gonna do is go in and get the basket and come back out here and pick whatever the good Lord's given me. And then we'll get back to the main part of the video, which today is going to be raw pack water bath canning. I'll explain that as we do the video. But this is for Farmer Dave at Nelson Creek Farms. He suggested that I do that as a video to show exactly what I do with the vegetables. And last week I canned 26 or 27 quarts just off of 3 rows. So, and I got about that many in the house in the refrigerator this morning that we snapped last night. So basically that's what I like to keep, somewhere around 50, but I've got some left over from last year. So that's going to put me up to about 70 quarts of beans that has to be eaten within the next 1.5 years. So what I do is, once I get to my limit of where I'd like to keep them, whatever I pick, I take to the church and I give to the older people at church, the older farmers who, due to health reasons or whatever the case may be, can't get out and grow a garden, because they always share their knowledge with me, and you see, I listen. So as a payment, or as a thank you rather, I give them fresh vegetables, and they're happy to get the vegetables, and they also enjoy the company. So remember, if an older person would like to talk to you and share knowledge with you, take advantage of it. It's something that you can never replace. So that's it for this. I'm gonna get on in there, get the basket, come back out and pick the zucchini and squash, and then we're gonna get started on the water bath canning. So stay tuned for that. And thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you in just a few minutes. All right, here we are. Welcome to the kitchen. What I've done off camera is I've already put a teaspoon of salt in the bottom of my jars. We packed them to about the bottom rim, And then once I fill them with water, you're supposed to leave about an inch of headspace. And so right about there on that bottom rim is where you need to be. Now, last night I put the jars and the rings in the dishwasher and washed them and sterilized them. And I just a few minutes ago turned my lids off. I brought them to a boil in water to sterilize them, and I have a pot of hot water to ladle over the beans. So all my utensils are clean, everything's clean, and I'm going to turn this down so I don't get burnt, but we're going to start ladling the hot water over the beans. And this is a raw pack, and what that means is the beans were washed and cleaned, and then I put them into the jars raw pack. So like I said, I'm just going to ladle the hot water over it, and you want to use hot water. It's almost to a boil, and I did that to make sure that the water is clean, boil any contaminants or whatever out of it, I hope. So like I said, we'll get it up to this bottom lip on the ring, on the lid. Or, yeah. Let me hold this a little bit different because that's getting hot. Okay, right about there. And you can always double check yourself with this. It is gauged to right there, that's exactly 1 inch if I use this top one. So I know I'm good. I'm gonna let them sit as I fill the rest of them, and then we'll go back and we'll use the other end of this to get the air bubbles out. So let's get going. And I know there's multiple ways of doing this. You can use a pressure canner, and I don't like them. I don't trust them. My grandma did it this way with the water bath for many years and had no problems. So I'm going to stick with her way of doing things. If it worked for her, it'll work for me. And what I mean by a water bath, in case you've never done it or haven't heard of it, it's just a big pot with a rack inside. I sit the quart jars down in the boiling water and I let them boil. She went for about 45 minutes or so using quart jars. So what I usually do is about the same, 45 minutes to an hour. That way I know anything that was possibly in the jar is no longer there to spoil the vegetables and make us sick. So we're going to continue on and stay tuned. Alright, welcome back. We've got everything ladled and topped off. My wife is removing the air bubbles for me so we can continue to move forward. When I say removing the air bubbles, the little plastic gauge that comes with the kit, the canning kit that you can get at Ace Hardware, Walmart, wherever, it has a rounded end and then it has a stepped end. The stepped end is for gauging your head height, and the round end you just take and stick down inside the jar gently and just work it around and it releases air bubbles. So that's how that works. Now I have cleaned the rims of the jars. I use apple cider vinegar and water mixture, recommendation of my wife, to clean it. That way it helps sterilize it. And so what we're going to do is, these were boiled And I'm going to put these on. Okay. And put the rings on now, and you want to get them snug. Do not over tighten them. Just snug them on there. They do not have to be overly tightened. And when I can my beans, I never reuse the lids. The rings you can reuse as long as they're not rusted, but always use new lids. That way you know your seals are good and everything should be okay. All right, that's the first 6 of 25. We actually had more beans than I had jars. So as soon as I get this going in the water bath, I'm going to take the rest of the beans to one of the ladies from the church. Lives right down the street. Older lady, real nice lady. So I'm going to take those that I've already snapped to her, and she can can them or she can cook them. Completely up to her. So I'm going to pause again here, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which will actually be putting them in the water bath canner. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for continuing watching, and we'll be back just as soon as we're ready for the next step. Thanks for watching. All right, here we are, and this is the next step. This is my water bath. Just a big pot with a rack and 10 quarts of green beans in it. And what I'll do is, once the water starts to boil, I'll let it go for about 45 minutes to an hour. That way I know I'm safe. Also too, I put them in there to begin with because once the water starts boiling, then you put the jars in there, then you take a chance on breaking them if they have cooled any, or I don't want to break the jars and waste food. So, but that's it for the water bath part of it. So we're pause here again. I know it's just a short segment, but once the water bath is done, I'll swap these 10 out with the 10 I have left in the house. I've also got 5 in a pot on the stove. I use my wife's tamale pot, which is a nice deep pot. So I've got 5 quarts in there, being water bathed right now, and I've got 10 here. So once this is done, like I said, I'll swap them out and go from there. And when we're done with this, I'll come back and show you where we're at and show you the finished product. And I really do appreciate you staying tuned and watching the video, and I really appreciate all the people who tune in and watch the videos. It means a lot. Sometimes you feel like you don't reach a lot of people, but I see that my viewing hours are definitely increasing. So there are people that are still interested in keeping old equipment running and maintaining or growing a garden. So thank you very much. It means a lot, and I'm serious, because this country is, well, we'll leave it at that. So stay tuned for the end of the video and I'll show you the finished product. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in a little while. All right, welcome back to the end of the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and welcome again if you are a new subscriber, and if you have subscribed previously and are still watching, thank you very much. So it's been a few hours to get the whole process done, but it's well worth it. And we went from here to here, and yeah, you can do it. If you have any questions, there's plenty of books out there that can teach you, or if you know someone that can do it and would like to learn, I'm sure they'll be willing to help you just to keep the tradition going, because we are relying too much on other people to do simple things that we should be doing to survive. Well, that's enough of that. But anyway, Super Dave, Farmer Dave, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a good suggestion. Once again, thank you for the suggestion. And if you haven't checked out Nelson Creek Farm on YouTube, flip on over there and check him out. It's a really nice guy, really good channel. There's lots of information there as well. And while you're there, if you haven't, go on and click the little button in the right corner and subscribe to his channel. His goal is to get to 400 by the end of the month, which today is the last day. So switch on over to Nelson Creek Farms and hit that subscribe button and help him reach his goal of 400 by the end of the month. So, well, that's it from Old Red Tractors. Thank you again for tuning in, and I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So anyway, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you in the next video from Old Red Tractors.